Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. You are tuned in to iSurvived 2021 right here with your girl, TK, and we are virtual. We are live and we are so excited. Tonight is just going to be an amazing conversation. We have some wonderful guests here tonight, and I just cannot wait until they mount the platform. However, before they come, I would that you would certainly like and share this post. That's right. I want to see where you're coming in from. I see you out here, Diane Towns, Donna Morris, Bobby Whitley. There's a lot of you coming on right now. Please start to like, share, and love it. If you like it if you share it, share, and invite someone. I want you to tag a survivor. Are you a survivor? If you are a survivor, I want to see you in the comments. Just say, hey, I survived. Tap that neighbor, that virtual neighbor on the shoulder, and just say, I am a survivor. Many of us are survivors. A lot of us consider ourselves overcomers. And we're just so excited today that we're in the month of October, where there are a lot of things going on, where we're lifting awareness and we're talking about survival. And there are a lot of things happening. One primarily we do understand is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We're also lifting Domestic Violence Awareness Month, as well as Clergy Appreciation Month. So tag a survivor, tag someone. You can even put their names out there in the comments. I just want to see you here. But thank you all for chiming in. Thank you for joining in. And tonight, it is our time. It is time right now for us to welcome to this audience, this waiting audience tonight. It's time right now that we're going to welcome in our guest. Are you ready? Can just somebody say, I'm ready? I'm ready. Thank you so much, Timothy, for joining on tonight. Tonight, we're going to be joined by just two young people, nice couple, just brilliant minds. And they're going to talk to us about family, balancing life within the ministry, as well as home and work. We have a lot that we're going to, a lot of ground tonight that we're going to cover. So I just want you to stay tuned. Without further ado, I want to introduce to some and present to others the McIntyres. I am so happy that they're able to join. Woo! Yes, they are here tonight.
We're excited.
And I want you to know that they are going to provide to us some just valuable information. But before they kick off, I just want them to introduce themselves. Hi, how are you doing? Thank you so much for being here. It's always a pleasure to have brilliant minds on, and you all are just such representatives of kingdom building and ministry, life, love. Look at y'all. Y'all just look, you know what? I just love y'all. So listen, I am excited.
We love you back.
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
Yes. My sister and my brother, and we've shared in some spaces virtually, and we've also connected in the spirit. And so I do want to say this before we get started. I want to tell you how we don't really know how to say his name properly. We say it with the most confidence that we can. So I'm just going to call you Dr. Dio.
That's fine. That's fine.
And you're going to tell us what your real name is, so I don't mess it up. But let me tell you how I met the doctor. I met him. This is why it's very important that you treat people right. Okay. So we were at this event, and we were both vendors at an event, and they ran out of tables, to say the least. And we were supposed to both be set up, and he is an author. He'll talk a little bit more about that journey. He is an author, and we did not have enough space, and he was left without some space. And I just looked over, and he had his books, and I'm like, hey, listen, just share a little piece of my table here. And I mean, we literally never in a million years thought our paths would cross again. We were at a church somewhere in Memphis. I, to this day, do not know where we were.
I know it.
We were in the back room somewhere. I mean, and we were both lost, trying to figure out what was really happening. Yeah. He was helping me. I was helping him. And it was just amazing. We didn't know each other. We didn't even really stopped to exchange a lot of information at that point in time. It was just about meeting a need. And so there was a need there, and we figured out how to make it work. So we were collaborating even then, having no idea that our paths would cross up until this point. So I just want you to know that in order to make it in this life, we need each other to survive. So I need you. You need me.
You need me.
Regardless of the situation, I didn't have to know him. He didn't have to know me in order for us to just be connected by just a human heart, you know, that strand of humanity. So I am so pleased tonight that you all are joining me, doctors. Dr. McIntyre family. Yes, but you know what, girl? Listen, you are a doctor too, because I heard somebody told me that you're responsible for the video setup. So you are the doctor. So
you hooked it up.
Anyway, I want to give you this space and just to welcome you to this platform once again. Please tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to jump right into the conversation.
Okay, well, you know, I can start us off, right? Yeah, sure. So I am Dr. Theosophist. So, you know, but Dr. Theo that's just fine. I don't have any issue with that. Dr. Theosophist J. McIntyre Sr. And so you really said a lot. You know, we met a few years ago back in Memphis, and I remember you doing an iSurvived session at one of the venues in Memphis. And I was like, this is pretty dope. I said, I need to do something. And I remember, you know, I figured I gleaned some from you at that point, I remember. So we kind of go back, you know, a few years back to Memphis. So I appreciate you. And you had mentioned that brilliant minds, or talked about brilliant minds, but I want to tell you, it takes one to know one. Okay. It takes brilliance to recognize brilliance. But yes, so I'm Dr. Theosophist J. McIntyre, my lovely wife,
Danielle McIntyre. It's nice to be on. I'm glad that you invited us, and I'm really looking forward to the conversation.
Yeah, just a little bit about us. We've been married for 20 years, even though we look 20. Lord. 20 years, going on 21 in May, 5 babies. And we've operated in ministry, youth and young adult ministry for many years. I think we met when we met when I was a youth pastor at her uncle's church way back in Racine, Wisconsin, back in 1999. So yes, so he beautifies the meek with salvation, because we just didn't pop up yesterday, right? We've been here a while. But thank God we don't look like what we've been through or done, you know, but not to say we've done anything, you know, crazy, but we have some experiences. And so, so that's really it. I mean, of course, we've matriculated through various schools. We both went to the University of Wisconsin Parkside years ago. And then I did obtain a bachelor's, master's, and then most recently a doctorate in business administration, which took me 8 long years. I said pain and suffering and stick-to-itiveness. Yes. But, you know, God is faithful. And so actually, we're going to the commencement celebration in Orange Beach, Alabama, this upcoming weekend. So that's pretty exciting for us. So we'll celebrate in that way. And then I think I don't know if I've missed anything, but you can add to that.
You said it all, babe.
Yeah. And then the last thing. So as of late, as our Bishop Maynard says, as of late, we are youth and young adult pastors of the Cathedral of Praise, Church of God in Christ. So we, of course, we give honor to God. We thank God for being saved, sanctified, filled, and that we will speak in an unknown tongue as the Spirit provides utterance for us to do so. But we want to appreciate our leader, the Bishop Jerry L. Maynard. Yes. I always say he's a great man of success, progress, administrative prowess, and excellence. And so I thank God that we're always learning and growing in God, and that God has allowed us to interface and to be tutored and mentored by great leaders. And then, of course, our First Lady, the Dr. Mary T. Maynard, we have to, of course, appreciate her. Yes. So those are our leaders here at the Cathedral of Praise here in the beautiful city of Nashville, Tennessee. And we've been here for a couple years so far. And I'm planning on being here, maybe even retiring here. And, you know,
because I don't want to move again.
Yeah. We've only moved a couple times, but so that's pretty much it.
That is so amazing. I really appreciate that introduction, and thank you so much for letting us into a little bit of your life. And my goodness, you've been married for 20 years. I also understand that you are the son of a pastor, And we're going to talk a little bit about that and how balancing this life as a son of a pastor, coming from that background, and also managing school as well as managing church obligations, as well as being a husband and a father. And I don't know if everyone caught the fact that he said that he is a husband of one wife and he has five children. So he has 5 children. So I just want to put that out there, everybody. They look 20. They've been married 20 years. They have 5 children. So
all handmade by me. All handmade by me.
All handmade and crafted. Right. Okay. We'll give you just a little bit of credit. You survived.
Partnership with God. Partnership. So,
yes. But we want to kind of talk about how you have managed in this space, especially, prior to the pandemic, life as we knew it was extra busy. And I just pray that we don't get back to the busy that once took us away from things such as family. And in your case, having 5 children, as well as a wife, and as well as trying to, and you also work a full-time job. So a lot of people think that, it's easy because you may not work. Well, I do want to put it out there that you also hold a full-time job as well. And I just want you to kind of talk about how to manage and how have you managed and how do you compartmentalize or put all of these things in a priority that works for you as well as your family?
Yeah, and I think I would start off by first saying I don't think there is any magic formula because, various methodologies, and strategies for success will work differently depending on the person. But of course, I'll start out saying, we've got to keep Christ at the center of what we do. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that God will bless us when our intentions are well, when our motives are in the right place, when we seek to please God, to love God and love his people and do that from a place of sincerity. I just believe that God will bless anything you put your hands to do. It will turn out as it will be golden, as long as your heart and mind is in the right place. So we keep Christ at the center of our home, our career, of course, church and what we do in ministry. And it's all about advancing the kingdom and humbling ourselves, right? Because when we humble ourselves, then that's when God can promote us and he can trust us, with more. And so, of course, we keep Christ at the center. And then prayer, of course, men ought to always pray. And so prayer has become, a daily part of our daily regimen. We're always in prayer and seeking God and really trying to have our ear adhered, if you will, in line to the word of God and to the will of God for our lives. And so I think prayer is so critical. And then I think you had mentioned the pandemic and you had mentioned how everything was so busy prior to the pandemic. And so I think that one thing that I think anyone watching this can definitely embrace is the art of productivity. Like when other people sleep, if you're going to achieve the very best and the unprecedented and what no one else has been able to accomplish in your family, your lineage, or around you, when other people rest, we have to embrace the art of working and productivity, because a lot of people, I think, slept through some of the pandemic and they didn't continue to pursue, you know what I'm saying? Because it was like, oh, it was so busy. But then when we got to the pandemic, folks thought, oh, it's an opportunity to slow up. No, that was an opportunity to ramp up because when others sleep, we work, we strategize.
Doctor, I got to chime in right there. I got to jump in. You said that the pandemic presented us an opportunity to be productive. And I do want to just say this right here. The Lord gave me this and it was a thought. And
you've been working.
I thought about it.
We see you.
I understand. I said that if you asked God for time and you did not utilize the time during the pandemic, what you lacked is discipline, not the commodity of time. There is a commodity that we all wish for in our youth. We want that time. We want that time back at this stage of our lives. But we were issued that ticket of time. And you stated that if we did not use that time to become productive, we really lost that commodity. So I did want to pick that up. Thank you for bringing that out, that the pandemic presented an opportunity for productivity.
It really did. And so I think that understanding, when others rest and they slumber, that's an opportunity for us to hone in and to get more and to go even harder. So throughout the pandemic, I would talk to my wife and I would say, I think God allowed this to happen just for me, because I was in that ninth month, if you will, of completing my doctoral journey. And so as things have slowed down and I had to work from home, which we can talk about that, as well, God allowed us to get more time. But I think, to your point, some people took that time and they were on the YouTube more and on the social media, not necessarily leveraging social media as a tool for their ministry or business or product, but just, scrolling and just, passing the time. Where I said, Lord, I thank you. This pandemic has been, part of your plan for us to reset, to regroup, to re-strategize so that we can come out bigger, better, and with more. And ironically, that's just what God did. I leveraged that time, and I've always been one to find myself working, doing something. Even if I'm on vacation, I'm like, Lord, you know what? If the Lord gives me a good book idea, I want to be taking notes while I'm on vacation. You know what I mean? I want to be. Yeah. And so I think that's another thing, is that we have a misconception as it relates to rest. And the purpose of rest is so that you can be rejuvenated for working, for creating, and for pursuing more. And it's like, I think especially with young adults, we hear them often say, it's good to be busy and to be productive, but you need to just rest and take a break. And just sometimes, and I'm very much aligned to that. And so that's why I'm saying that different strategies work for different people. But for me, I've always used rest as a way to regroup so that I can continue to pursue that which God has called me to do. And while other people work and rest, I feel like we as a people of God, especially, we have to learn how to leverage that and use it as an opportunity to continually move forward and leverage that time, as we have done for most of us, even throughout the pandemic. Yeah.
You said a lot.
I want to ask, thank you for sharing that. I want to ask Danielle about how, raising a family. The doctor is talking about going through school, and he said ninth month, and I just immediately thought about birthing, and how any good birthing coach in that ninth month, when it's time to deliver, they're going to continue to tell you to push. They're not going to say, you said it's too hard. You're hurting. I hear you screaming. So just take a nap here. I'm gonna just give you a pill and you just lay here and rest. They're going to continue to tell you to push, and they're going to push you past the pain so that you can birth what has been planted and what has been seeded. So I want to ask you, Danielle, as you have watched your husband gather a doctorate degree, going through this doctoral journey and going through this doctoral process, how was it with you trying to manage 5 children? And I know at one point you were homeschooling, and now your children are attending public school. Give us a little insight on how you as a wife learn how to balance, manage, and survive through this time frame.
I think a lot of it is although he was working on the doctorate and everything, we still made time for each other and for the family. It caused us to be very regimented with our time. Yeah, so we had to be very calculated. So if we identified, okay, you're going to write at this time. Okay, once you're done writing, let's go plan an outing for the kids. Let's go to the zoo. Let's go to the park. And we spend that time together. And then, the kids, they didn't lack anything. They didn't lack attention. They didn't lack, outings, activities, none of that. Even throughout the pandemic, we found ways to keep everybody engaged and to keep our sanity, if you will, during that time. Like random things. We just went out on the patio and we had picnics, lunch picnics. And, during school break time, okay, let's go outside, let's have our picnic, have lunch, and then we'll come back in and get back to work. And while the kids were working, he was also working. So I don't think that anybody knew the difference, but it really comes to just being regimented and being calculated with your timing.
That's very true. Yeah. And I kind of forget that because I think that we did have a real pretty like set schedule. There were like certain nights where we said, because I have to work here and I have to write here, we have to carve out this time. And it was very consistent. Even if it was on Thursday nights, we always run to the gas station, we grab an ice cream, we run to the lake, throw a few rocks at the Pierce Priest, and we're back because I've got to do this. We made that happen, and so I think that speaks to discipline, Yeah.
Absolutely. And speaking to discipline, and actually you said carving out family time, I really love how you used one word that is very essential in our culture right now. And as well as we're pushing through business ideas and productivity, that word is consistency, and how you stayed committed to the consistent schedule. And you have to commit to the commitment. Without being committed to the commitment of consistency, it's very hard. You would definitely, I saw someone posted the other day that you're really not lacking time. You're unorganized.
Yes.
Not that you're overwhelmed,
Right.
but you're unorganized. And when you start to organize and compartmentalize and categorize your life, then it can actually flow. There becomes a consistent currency with what you're doing. And it also does not push your children and your wife to the back burner, because so many times marriages suffer, especially those in the church. They suffer because our time is miscalculated and it is misappropriated.
That's
misappropriated. In the wrong category. And so we're finding ourselves, we're giving all of our time to the church, which we get that mixed up with giving our time to God, right? We think we're giving our time to God, but we're giving our time to an organization. We're giving our time to people who are not in return reciprocating what we need from them. So we find ourselves spending expanded amounts of energy on people, places, things that do not add value, that do not appreciate, that do not uplift our lives. And so now that causes a high level of frustration. And instead of you taking it out on the people who's taking it from you, you take it out on your family. So now the family suffers. So I'm so happy to hear, and I hope you all out there, if you're just now joining, thank you for joining the iSurvived Virtual 2021 Spotlight tonight. We are here joined with Dr. Theo and Danielle McIntyre, and we're here. Yes, I'm not even going to try.
That's good. I love it. I love it.
Y'all out there to try. I'm not even going to do it. But I am so happy to have them here. If you're just now joining in, I just want you to just put some hearts out there for this journey and how you're hearing that they are survivors. So I really appreciate you, Bettina and Latasha and Janet. Benjamin, Elder Timothy Lyon has joined us. Thank you, Davina, for coming in and stopping by, and Troy, I see you out here. Brittany, thank you so much for connecting tonight, because this is an awesome conversation. So we're going to pick back up just a little bit on productivity. And I saw something recently that shocked me. I don't think I was too shocked. I was just surprised. And I saw something, not that I saw it, I heard it. You all have just released a CD project. You have released a project. And I mean, you all, if you have not heard the voices of these individuals, you are certainly missing a phenomenal treat. They are super talented. And as you've stated, you work well with youth and young adults. And it's so crazy how PKs, we're multi-layered, we're multi-dimensional. Even if we are not a complete master at everything that we're doing.
Something? See? Because I get on the keyboard and I think I'm doing something, playing. I'm doing horribly, but I'm jack of all trades.
Exactly, because we have learned how to do a lot, and whether we've mastered it all, we don't really know. But I was really happy to hear that the Lord has blessed you all now to release a CD. Can you talk about, in the midst of everything else you have going on, can you sincerely talk about this latest release?
Yeah, maybe you want to start out talking about it?
So it's funny how all of that happened during the pandemic, right? So I remember there was just like one night he was like, I want us to do a song together. I was like, okay. So he started writing a song and I was like, yeah, that's not it. I need you to go back. Let's start over. I sent him back to his closet, right? So he came back and he had this song and I was like, I like it. That's the one.
Yeah.
So we carved out time again. We made time and we went and we recorded. And it took a little while. We recorded and he was like, okay, he was holding me accountable too. He was like, okay, babe, we got to go to the studio, right?
Yeah. I'll say, you got to be practicing this song. Don't be getting the studio. You talking about you don't know what's going on now. You need to be working on it.
He said, you better come on because, we go into the studio. Time is money now.
Yeah. But we do that. Yeah. We did that to each other. Yeah.
Yes, we do. Because I did it to you throughout the whole doctoral program.
Yeah.
I was like, you need to hurry up and get done.
Oh, yeah.
But the song, it was birthed out of a time of just saying, God, we need you. We need you now. God, arise. There were so many that were going through different issues. I mean, we lost many family members, friends during that time. And, we felt some of that pain and we were just like, God, we need you. We need you now. God, arise. God, arise.
Yeah.
So that's where that song was birthed from. And I believe that it's one that can minister to many, and it was a good song.
Yeah, I've got a few singles out there, but this was the first single that we did together. And so I just want to, if you are interested in going to check it out, it's God Arise by Theophilus and Danielle. It's on. We have an official music video out on YouTube and Vimeo, it's all over. Apple Music, you can go everywhere, but it's God Arise and it's released on all digital platforms. And I do want to also send a shout out, if you don't mind, evangelist, to Brandon Scott, who's the producer of it. He's a local Nashville producer. He's excellent. He's brilliant. He did a phenomenal job.
Yes, he did.
Brandon Scott, and then who did the production of the video? Monterey Lee. Yes, it escaped me for a moment, but brother Monterey Lee, he's a musician and a videographer. He did an excellent job. So thank you for allowing us to talk about that. So you all feel free to go check it out. I think that it's spiritually impacting and very relevant. We talk about, so just go check it out. It's a wonderful piece.
Well, I appreciate you for bringing that into the conversation. And listen, I heard something yesterday and the statement was that excellence suppressed yields mediocrity. And one thing about you all that I've always noticed on this journey is that you've always presented excellence. You've always presented excellence in your path. You've ever since I've met you, and you talked about time being money. And so we're going to segue into your book that talks about the financial piece of life, because I do want you to interject about what you've written financially and give us some tips and tools that we should be doing right now at our ages and our stages of life, regardless of where you are, to financially leverage and to set yourself up for success, regardless of what you have right now. So I want to segue into that because excellence is what you all exude, and it's very present here. And I want you to talk about, tell us about your book, and then give us some financial tips and tools. As we come to a wrap here, I want you to kind of talk about the tips and tools of financial success.
Okay, yes, and I'm glad you mentioned that. Hold on. I just actually had a couple of books to my side here, and it was not planned.
Did you see how he said, I didn't even know you were going to ask me about that?
I actually did have you because, look, the word, be ye ever therefore so ready. Be ye ready at all times, thus saith the Lord. But phenomenal. I was actually talking about him on another live that we did, but the first book I have is, I'll just do, it's The Rich and the Righteous. This book is just a simple, quick, less than 100-page read. The Rich and the Righteous. It's out there on Amazon, and it just basically talks about you don't need a lot of money to create new money, and it really talks about honing in on your skills, on your standalone capacity, and that grace, that enablement, or a gifting that God has given you, and how to monetize off of that. So this one is really It's business and wealth organizational creation. Some of the principles, I'll just give you one here tonight, is the first principle that I write about is getting attention for your business, your product, your brand, and how the financial support only follows those that know how to raise their hand and let their light shine so that men can see who you are. You can bake the best cake in the world, but if nobody knows you, they don't know about your cake, and neither can you monetize off of that cake. So I talk about getting attention, how critical it is in branding and marketing yourself and merchandising your product in a way that is going to catch the attention of your customer, if you will. So that one's just business, wealth, organizational creation. And then I have Unstoppable, which is organizational expansion. It's a great book. It just talks about how to expand your business, increase foot count, market share. And I talk about the passion of Christ and his journey towards the cross and how he was absolutely unstoppable in getting there and how to apply that to the growth of your business. Again, primarily as it relates to foot count, customer count, and expansion in market share. The last one is Dominate in the Marketplace. This book talks about dominating the marketplace is getting out of this space of competition, because a lot of times we want to compare ourselves to someone else instead of staying in your lane and monetizing and profitizing off of what God has given you. But it teaches about getting out of this realm of competition and learn the art of collaboration, much of what we're doing here tonight, because that will bolster your brand when we stop trying to compete with each other and embrace each other's gifts. And you use me as I use you, and we use each other to get to where we're going, and we do it together. So those are the 3 books, and they're all available on Amazon: The Rich and the Righteous, Unstoppable, and Dominating the Marketplace by your boy, Theophilus J. McIntyre. Thank you so much.
Theophilus. I think I got it now. I Listen, I said to I literally was thinking of The Rich and the Righteous, and I said, come on and promote that one book. And here he comes out with a whole, I wasn't really prepared to talk about these 3 books.
But since you asked me,
amazing. You're on the path of you're going to be graduating at your, receiving your, is it a DBA or a PhD in business administration?
Yes. It's a DBA. It's a professional doctorate, but it's a PhD equivalent. And I've had to go through the pain of a dissertation process and dealing with the PhD chair and all that. Yes.
Trust me, I do understand. I am actually joined tonight by my classmate. Her name is Sanchia Walcott, brilliant mind here, and she is in the DHS program, and Doctor of Human Services, and she's on. Oh, wow. She does want your book. I see her out here saying she wants the book, and you just said something very, very clear. You said come out of the space of competition, and when we learn the art of collaboration, competition starts to lose its hold. And so when we start to partner with one another, when we lift one another, it does not take anything away from me to promote you. It does not take anything away from me to lift you. It does not take anything away from me to tell others to support you. So as we collaborate, I am so happy to hear that you're going to be walking to get that DBA, and you've gone through that journey. Trust me, I understand the hardship. I know what you've gone through. DBAs and DPAs and DHS. These are professional paths now that are equivalent to the PhD program, but have a more practical application. Just practical. However, they still yield that same title, which we work so hard for, which is called doctor. And so, and it's also equivalent to the EDD. So I just want to put that out there, that the DBA, Doctor of Business Administration, I'm so happy to hear that you're going through that. And I just want to just lift the fact that you stated that we need to support one another. And Santina says that there is a lot of competition. And when we start to work in unity and when we start to collaborate, do you know how much more can be produced? You talked about productivity. When we learn how to unify, listen, I am in a space that is very, very saturated. I sell rhinestone t-shirts. I started selling them when it was nothing out there.
We've seen it. You got some dope stuff.
Yes.
We've seen it.
Still as a business owner, and I've written books. I have a makeup line and things of that nature. even as a business owner, what I've learned is, even though I may sell it, it doesn't stop me from supporting someone else who does as well. So even as an author, you know, if we want to be accepted, if we want Davina, if we want people to know who we are, I tell you what you do. You start to give. Jesus told the rich man, in order for you to become expanded, why don't you go give away some stuff? Go,
give it,
it was oxymoronic to hear. Yeah, that in order for me to gain, I would have to give out. But that was the secret ingredient, that we have to continue to give in order to receive. And so as we give our support, and I tell people all the time, support is not always equivalent to money. I may not have the money to give you, but I can support you with my time. I may not have the time to give you, but I can share your post, right? You know, I may not have the physical ability. I may not even need what you offer, but it does not stop me from being a support or an undergird. So I really enjoyed the fact that you brought up the idea that we need to replace the C's. We need to replace competition with collaboration. And when we stop competing, we can start completing. I'm going to slow down.
I love that. Oh, I love that. I'm gonna have to add that. I'm gonna have to add that on here. Thank you for
put that in one of your books, and then say that I'm a collaborator. That's what I want.
I know that's right. I know that's what I'm gonna do.
You know, when we stop competing, we will start completing. And a lot of times we can't finish some things. You know why? Because we're afraid to collaborate. And when we start to put our resources together, do you not know there are so many nationalities that are out there? They combine their resources, and then we wonder how they're able to boom out. We're wondering, like, you know, well, why in our community can't we do that? Or, you know, why do we see this building so quickly? It's because they understand the value of completion.
Yes.
They know that if I can help you complete this, we don't have to compete in this.
We don't have to compete in it. Yeah.
We don't have to compete in what we have completed. So, and if you can't complete, you will deplete.
That's right.
Now, I'm going to
stop. I love that. What you can't complete, you. You will deplete.
Because anything you continue to start and you don't finish, it causes a depletion.
Yes, so I love it.
I just want you all to know that I'm so happy. As we end here, I'm going to just put you on the screen and remove myself for just a moment. And I just want you all to minister directly to the audience and just give them some uplifting words as we come to a close here about, you know, being survivors in the marketplace, as you've lifted so well, being survivors as a son of a pastor, a son working in the ministry, a daughter that is raising children. You all are both raising children together, 5 children. Also, how you're working together in the ministry, and you're just out there doing things. It's not that you don't have time. It is that you have discipline and a commitment. And congratulations once again to you walking next week with that DBA. We're so proud of you. But I want to give you all some time to just share with the audience.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Evangelist TK Carter. We definitely appreciate you. You know, I don't have a lot of words to say with regard to this. I think it's 2 Timothy, the 2nd chapter, when Paul is talking to the young Timothy, and he's really discussing some rules of engagement and some critical aspects and principles that we can leverage for success in ministry, in the marketplace, and just our general or everyday lives. And so he tells Paul, he says to be strong in the grace, you know, and so he reminds him that we're working more than just a power of our own, but we have been endowed with a power from on high to accomplish great exploits. And because God is with us, in us, and backing us, there's not a devil out of hell that can stand against us or stop us. But Paul, he tells Timothy, he says to work hard like a farmer. That means when other people are resting, you have to be prepared to keep working, and other people will rest on their laurels, and then they will embrace previous successes. But God wants to bless you to not just do what you're doing now, but to do more. So he says to work hard like a farmer. Then he says to be diligent like an athlete. I think he uses an athlete. He says to play by the rules. That speaks to our integrity, to our character, and our exuding godliness in our everyday lives. So we have to definitely do that piece. And then the last one was
the soldier.
The soldier. Come on,
with the soldier, soldiers are disciplined, they're regimented, and they know how to follow leadership. For wives, let's listen to that part. Soldiers know how to follow leadership. So we need to be able to follow our husbands as they follow Christ. And as long as they're following Christ, we don't have to be concerned or apprehensive about the next move, what's going to happen next. How do I have to try to fix this and make it right so that it won't falter or fall? No, you're putting on more on yourself than what you have to bear. God has given us a husband to help lead us and to guide us and to protect us. And we have to trust the God that we serve and the God that they serve.
Amen.
And
ditto that.
It'll all work together for your good.
Amen. Yeah, we just want to say to be encouraged and just review 2 Timothy 2, and it's got critical rules for engagement, rules of engagement for our everyday success. And thank you, Evangelist.
Well, thank you all so much for joining in today. I am just so happy and so blessed that you all were able to take this time out and join in with us. The audience has just, lit the chat up. And I just want to thank the listening audience for coming in tonight. And with everything that we're competing with in the social media world and on the social media platforms, it's always good to know that there's someone out there that this word is for. So as you all know, in my normal custom, I am here for the audience of one. Whoever this can help and whoever it has helped, which I'm seeing right now in the chat, someone is stating that this has been a great show and that they have been helped. That is it. If God can get the glory and one person is helped, that is my level of fulfillment. So I do want to stop one more time and celebrate Dr. Theo and Danielle McIntyre for joining this show. You all you're just blessed, and I want you all to download their single, download the music. Please download it and support them. And we're going to, in this chat, Danielle will put in the way to get those books. I want you to actually put all of the links to every single book. So I want you to go grab those links from Amazon, and I want you to put those in the chat. And I want you all to be able to go in, because there are some people here who stated that they want to understand the principles of finance. One last thing I want to remind you all. He said, read the book of 2 Timothy because of the rules that life holds there. So I just want you all to just bless them with your congratulations, and we won't be there with you physically as you walk across that stage, but sincerely, you are in our hearts and prayers. And when we see you in the storyline, and when we see you in our feed, and you are in our face digitally, we will certainly stop to celebrate such a momentum in your life. This is just such a monumental, exceptional achievement. And so we want to bless God for that. Thank you all so much for joining. And that is the end of the iSurvived show for this week. I want you to tune in next Sunday. We'll be right back. Thank you all so much for joining. God bless. See you next week.